All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends, where truth matters. Excited to be with you, especially for our community conversation. That's our monthly conversation here. That's just when we talk everything else but geopolitics. So, anyway, let me see who is here, and by the way, I will be able to answer some of your personal questions if you have any, and we'll we'll just basically have a free flow conversation. That is so. Let me see who is here. Love always, shalom to you as well. Uh, oh, Arch Crusader, thank you so much for your super sticker. Oh, it's 1 a.m. in Singapore. Unfortunately, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Now you need to get a good night's sleep. All right. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Truly appreciate you. American Citizen, good to see you. American Citizen X, good to see you as always. So, all right. Now, I am feeling a little better. Still dealing with this unexpected cold. I have no idea how this something like this emerged because when I flew back from Europe, I felt a little bit while I was in France, but I thought, well, maybe it just changes and so forth. But till I came home. So 3 days later, kind of hits me hard. So, but anyway, it's I'm letting it work in its own course. I usually use some special type of honey, and this the Manuka honey. That's the good stuff because this one has some ingredients that it's anti-inflammatory. So I'm gonna take some in front of you here. Very, very, very good. If you ever get a chance to do 1 spoon a night. So anyway, so what I was thinking of doing is just first of all let you know that I will be doing a more analysis for you next week regarding the Iran Israel US conflict. There is a lot that has not been discussed, and I'm even debating whether to do a Q&A for you guys, and I will put an announcement or a survey for the community and see if you feel interested in doing that. So we'll just do that one. If it is, because I don't want to waste your time, I don't want to waste my time either. If there will be relevant questions pertaining to that, I will do it. Otherwise, I'll just do the live streams for you and provide you analysis that way. So I will leave it up to the community, and I'll ask. Let me see who is here. Say hi to. Oh, Jesus Aguilar, good to see you as always. Francis Tango, good to see you as always. One vote for Q&A. American Citizen X. Yeah, yeah. I will put it for the community as soon as I'm done with this live here. I'll go ahead and put Abel Malcolm. Good to see you, and thank you, Abel, for your comment on the previous video. I remember I read it attentively. It was very, very interesting comment. Thank you so much. Mohammed Mazhardin, good to see you as always, and hello to you as well. So, I was saying to American Citizen X about the Q&A. I am thinking of doing a live Q&A for you pertaining to the conflicts in West Asia or Middle East, Iran, US, Israel. I know you guys have a lot of questions about that, and there's a lot of information out there, a lot of misleading information. I mean, just it really concerns me a great deal as to how much. Of course, everybody's entitled to his or her own opinion. I am not here to criticize that. What I am here to push against is the information that doesn't make sense, and yet people voicing them under the pretext of, I know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm thinking, so I'm gonna do a survey for you whether you guys want me to do this Q&A, which will be a session on itself, by itself rather, next week, with the assumption that you guys will have questions, because again, I don't want to waste your time, I don't want to waste mine either. So then once I do the survey, I see what the results are, then I'll go from there. So hope you enjoyed the conversation yesterday with Carl Za. So very interesting fella. So Uh, it's me, Q8. Good to see you, and hi to you as well. So, for example, my screen name is changed to my handle and not my channel name. Uh, yeah, does anybody know about this, guys? I am also noticing something for me here. I don't see your comments anymore that come in as a notification to my email. So I have to go to the video itself, and that's how I answer your questions. Usually I see it coming directly into my email, then I'll answer it from there. So if anybody has an answer to ARM American Citizen X, would you please just share it on the screen? So who else is here? I saw uh, Francis Tango. Hi, doctor. Still have a sore throat. Drank a lot of honey. Actually, you're right, Francis Tango. I have right here Manuka honey. So I am taking that. It just this weird, very weird. I don't know. Once again, I don't know how I get that. I was fine when I was in Holland. I was fine when I went to Poland. It was when I get to France a little bit, but it'll pass. Sometimes it's good for the body system. In other words, the immune system. It's not bad to get sick once in a while. That's how you strengthen your immune system. Think of your immune system like a force, a military force or whatever. So if you don't train, you're not gonna learn how to fight. And when a fight comes in, you are so weak to fight. The same thing that applies to when we get sick. It's just how you deal with it. So for me, seeing a doctor and all that is the last thing, unless I am really cannot move an inch, which I am able to do things. I am able to I can feel I'm not 100%. I'm about 80 now. Uh, but yes, I do honey. I do hot tea with lemon and ginger. I do in the morning very early before I eat anything. I do the cayenne pepper with water. So then after that, I'll do what do you call it? Uh, Apple cider vinegar with a little bit of water. I like to drink the apple cider vinegar as is. I know a lot of people do not like the taste of it, but to me, it's not about taste. So I'm doing those, and it's getting better. So I probably will give it a few more days, then I feel better. So thank you for asking, Francis. Appreciate you for that. So all right, let me see. Mehdi 833. Salute to you as well. Good to see you here. African, good to see you as always. So, no, if you guys have a question, I will be happy to answer it for you. American citizen, you got it from the chickens. No, no, I didn't. And by the way, speaking of chickens, one of them passed away. Layla, the white one. So she passed away. So we only have three now. Just part of cycle, part of life, and so it's kind of things are different a little bit, and that's normal. Don't expect chickens to live forever. They have a time frame, and you just have to psychologically prepare yourself for that. It becomes like your pet. So now literally I get used to them now in one side of the kitchen. I have a big kitchen, but I put aside for them where they sleep and all that stuff. They don't sleep outside, they sleep inside the house. So uh so I just part of it. So all right, let's see, Francis. But what did you Oh, thank you so much. My wonderful lady brought me hot tea with lemon and ginger. Thank you. Very hot, so I won't drink. Yeah, the reason why she's saying it's hot, she made me tea 3 days ago, and I just went ahead and I burned the roof of my mouth. So it was so hot that I felt the skin. So she's like, be careful with that. Yeah, there is lemon, uh, there's ginger on it, and this I think is the. Let me see what it says here. What type of tea? Yeah, yeah, it's lemon tea. Perfect. So I'll be drinking this one as I am talking to you guys here. So, all right, Francis Tango, What did you find the difference between the EU and US in your travel around Europe? Very, very interesting, Francis. As a matter of fact, I was thinking, and I might do it, not sure yet, but I was thinking of inviting Michael for an interview here with the community. We'll do it just during our monthly community, not during a regular time when I do live streams, analysis, and so forth. And because this way, for him, he gets to express his opinion, how he sees things according to him, given his age bracket, given his first experience with seeing Europe and all that stuff. I did notice that he was very mesmerized, kind of in a good way, by the history of Europe, especially when I took him to Louvre Museum. And when we went to Louvre, and it was a reason why I took him to Louvre, I said, this is not about just seeing the Mona Lisa, which I have a poster here. I bought it in an art museum, in a gallery. I did spend money on it. It's not the real one, of course, but I have it in my bedroom. I have the big frame of Mona Lisa. But so it wasn't about that. It was about for him to see that history was expressed through the paintings and all that stuff. And I was surprised that he took an interest in that. So for an 18-year-old to be thinking into that, to me was like a good sign per se. So, but anyway, I am thinking about inviting him here for an interview, and we'll go from there. So, as far as your questions, Francis Tango, I noticed, for example, in France, France is degrading down, like it's getting bad. So, Paris now, excuse me, Paris is not the way it used to be. Paris is not the same as I saw it back, let's say in 2006. I remember, even though I went after that, but in 2006 I went for vacation, so I stayed with the family there, and Paris has changed. You see in the dirt all over the corners. You see in homeless people, the disparity, the type of human behavior. I mean, it just very. I'm not criticizing their society. All I'm saying is, it just there is something not easy about France as is today. So, and that, of course, is the reflection of its economic and foreign policies that they have embarked on. So France, for me now, if I recommend anybody to travel, you probably want to spend a day or two in Paris and get out. Simple as that. Toulouse, on the other hand, where my niece, she lives in Toulouse, so that's why I went over there. And it was my first time in Toulouse. Toulouse, it's laid back. Well, because it's southern part of France, and if there's one thing you know about France, is that the southern part, which is closer to the Spanish border and so forth, they have a much relaxed lifestyle than they do up north, and that applies to the whole Europe. When you take Europe, the northern part of Europe is different than the southern part. So when I went to Holland, Holland is always the same to me. However, Amsterdam, it's getting not only more expensive than what it used to be, it just also it's getting more crowded. This is one thing that both capitals, Paris and Amsterdam, have in common, in my opinion. It's how crowded they have become, and with that comes other issues of the inequality that exists within a city, but also the services that the local government will have to provide. But one thing also far better in Holland than it was in France is the transportation system. So I moved around, me and Michael, we moved around through the train system in Holland. Incredible. You get this card. I think I have one over there. You get the pass for the day, or 2 days, or 10 days, which of course we didn't know at the beginning until later on. But anyway, it was moving around through the train was no problem at it. And one other thing that impressed me the most was the accuracy of time, especially in Holland. When they said the train is going to be at 11:40, it's at 11:40, not at 11:45. So Holland is much more calmer. Even Michael shared the same opinion with me, which I've always known since I've been in Holland on many, many occasions. And I always go for a walk. Wonderful people. They don't know you. They'll say good morning, good morning. So I like it. Poland, of course, it's different. Poland is laid back. And of course, as Michael mentioned, the dollar can be stretched there. But Poland also is struggling now with where the country is headed. But overall, economically speaking, Europe is not what it used to be economically. So, and I don't know what lies ahead for that country, especially if they keep tying their policies to the Americans. So we're gonna drag them with us down, and I hope they'll pay close attention to that one. So this is one thing that I've noticed about Europe the last trip. So it's a really changed big time. Multi Tom Tom Eiffel Tower was a disappointment. You're right. We want to Eiffel Tower. Of course, you don't go up anymore. They blocked that for whatever reason. But again, for me, it was just to wanted to take Michael there just to see. It's just the idea of it. But as far as tourism, and you start now having a long lines that you have to stand there for 3 or 4 hours, I don't think so. It's worth it. That luckily, when we went to Notre Dame, the big cathedral in France, it was a line, but it moved quickly. And so, but overall, France to me is it's done for, literally. France now to me just become just another country. That's it, and it doesn't look good where it's going. So, and yes, I have family there, and I do talk to them about it, but that's what it was. So will I go back? Most likely not the case at this point. So that's not the case. All right, let me see another question from you. Milty Tom, Doc, would you let Michael join the American Army? No, I won't. I'll explain. There's one thing that I promised Michael that I will always do. I will never dictate the terms to him, because I did put the rules, and the rules are: you get involved in drugs, I'm done with you. You get arrested, do not call me to bail you out. And you get involved with the wrong girl and end up having kids early on, whatever, we done. Straightforward. There is no ifs and buts. He knows I don't bluff on this stuff. And again, this is not about being a harsh dad or whatever. This is about being straightforward. So you know where I stand on the issues. I'll bend backward for you. I'll take the extra 20 miles for you. But if I ever find out that you are either taking that for granted or you don't appreciate that, then I cut it off quickly. So no, as far as military, I did talk to him about it. Just to get an idea what he's like. He has no interest in the government because he started to see the government as corrupted as it can get. He started to really that's why I want to bring him on for an interview, and we'll have a conversation, and you guys can ask him questions. Don't hold back, and if he wants to answer, he'll answer. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But he starts to ask questions really that to me, for an 18-year-old, it gives me hope. Not because he's my son or whatever. No, it's just I hope his generation are in these terms. But again, it depends again how your parents are approaching all that stuff. So when you ask questions about, for his age, about what does the national debt for the government means for us, the next generation, that gives me a hope in thinking that he's gonna have to start to think very hard. And I am helping him out with expanding his or broaden his intellectual, because I said to him, listen, I can, now that you crossed the 18-year-old, I can be talking soft to you, and I usually don't talk soft. So, and I said, I'm going to be sharing things that are heavy intellectually, and the only reason for that is for you to acquire the necessary knowledge. I said, because today I am here, tomorrow I'll be gone. And I don't think so. It will be someone else who's going to give you an advice, because someone else won't care. So that was the reason why. And he got it. He understood what I'm getting at. This is not about being harsh. This is not about being whatever. And that's why that trip to Europe meant a lot to him, beside me giving him my word. I do plan on taking him to China. We're going to go to China because I need him to see where the future is. He's already intimidated by the language. And I said, you can't be thinking like that. The reason being, because when you walk downtown Shanghai, don't expect that nobody's going to speak English. They know English as better as you, if not better. Some of them are highly qualified, educated, and so forth. It just they take pride in their culture. That's why they have to speak Chinese. It becomes on us to learn the language, and that's to me common sense. You want to, I always have a desire to teach in China. I know someone put a comment yesterday suggesting for me to consider universities in Singapore. Yeah, something I will not rule out. That depends again. Are the universities, especially that I don't know, I do not know a lot about universities in Singapore. I have some contacts in Singapore I can reach out to and get some real assessment. I just have to make sure those universities offer my academic field. I can't just teach whatever. I feel comfortable enough and I feel qualified when I deal with international relations, when I deal with global security, when I deal with foreign affairs, and when I deal with international security. So, but I can't be teaching business stuff. I can't be teaching. It's just that's where my heart is. So, and so I'm not ruling that out. But anyway, the idea of teaching, in this case for China, is it'll become on me to push myself to learn the basics so I can communicate with people in their own language. Plus, I am living there. So it's on me, not on them. It's on me to learn. When I say ni hao, when I say xie, when I say whatever, I don't expect them to translate that for me. And when I ask for direction, I'm expected to speak Chinese. That means I have to put the effort. So I told Michael, do not get intimidated. And yes, the Chinese language can be intimidating because it's based on characters, let alone it's a tonal language, and it has 4 tones based on my reading about the language. So for us, Western speakers, it ain't easy to manage, but that doesn't mean you can't try. So I intend to take him to China because I need him to see, and I'm gonna get him on a high-speed train. Probably will cross to from Shanghai to Beijing or somewhere or whatever. It's just for him to see this in his own lifetime and with his own eyes, and this way he starts to understand why our government and the West, collective West, are saying what they're saying about China. So till he sees it, he's not gonna have a better grasp of all that. So for the military, no, we don't have a good military anyway, and I wouldn't want him to waste. Yes, he can learn certain skills, whatever, but the at least the time I went into the service, and I didn't go in. They called me from the Pentagon. I don't know if I ever shared the story with you or not, but anyway, that's that time has changed. But it's gonna have to be his decision because he has to make his mark in life on his own. So. Uh, uh, all right, let me see. Uh, let me see if there's other question. Abel, Malcolm, you wrote Carl Zahn, Larry Johnson are the best guests ever. Dr. O should pay them for their time, so they can be on his show more often. No, when you say pay them, do you mean monetarily? That will be an insult. They're not going to accept it because those individuals, and I know them now very well, they are about the truth. It's the idea of and Larry, I email him within literally less than 24 hours. I get the response. No ifs and buts. He said, "Got it. See you then." That's it. Same with Carl. Carl knows at the end of the month. I'll send a reminder 3 or 4 days before. It's like done deal. Here's the time, date. We're good to go. So yeah, that's and my way of it's the respect that our community is showing to them, and they truly appreciate that. And if you notice, guys, I don't invite just whomever. I am very, very selective who I bring in on this channel. So it just, I have to ensure the community is getting information of great substance. Yes, I can bring in someone who is very famous, but again, fame versus quality, which one would you go with? And again, I don't go on people's shows a lot, and I don't invite just whomever. So the people that I check and I know, Larry and I, we both worked in the intelligence community, so we kind of understand how the dynamics are. So that's why when I reach out to Larry, if you notice, I reach out more to Larry than, let's say, someone else. So it just, that's the basics of it. And yeah, if there are others, I will consider. Usually I'll check. Some of you guys suggest to me, I send them a request and never heard back. I move on. Lock 1970, Dr. O, you should drink tangerines tea instead of lemon tea with honey. Good suggestion. I will try it. I never had that. I always had the lemon with I add ginger and a piece of lemon in it beside the tea lemon itself. So I'll try that tangerine. So I'll check it out. Thank you so much for that. All right, let me see another question from you. I'm gonna scroll all the way down here in case I missed. Let me see here. Abel, you're right. China's history spans thousands of years. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm even thinking, because I am thinking about writing a book about China. I started already, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to address the history aspect, because you can cover 5,000 years in few pages. So I'm going to have to figure something about that one. Cambridge business, Dr. O, have you been following Irish band Kneecap? No, sorry, no, I didn't. Is there something I need to check out? Yeah, and if it is, why not? I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Danny Kwan, Western Europe is full of these Nazis. You are absolutely correct. I'm gonna share one information with you guys, even though I said no geopolitics, right? You guys know who the new head of the MI6, the first female. Now, if you check who her dad was originally, or her granddad, grandpa, you know, it was a Ukrainian Nazi. So, and again, we're not judging here. All I'm saying is you trace the ancestry. So just to make a point on this one, you're right. Western Europe is full of sort of Nazi stuff. So, and that's what we're saying where the policies are headed. Oh, Jesus Aguilar, Dr. O, and the community, I would like to thank you all for the advice on getting a good night's sleep. I took every advice. I no longer have trouble sleeping and wake up good at 5:30 a.m. Sleep, guys, I cannot hide. You'll remember when Dr. Stewart was here and he shared with us some stuff about sleeping. I cannot stress enough. You know, one thing that helped me move a little faster on this is that I slept. I just lay down. Except that they said during the daytime you don't want to lay down flat, because if you have a mucus, you don't want to be laying flat. You have to tilt your head a little bit up. But nighttime sleep is as crucial as it can get, because that's when all the repairs in your body takes place. And you have to have a protocol for that. For example, you can't be at 10 p.m. and you're still scrolling through your phone with UV rays and all that stuff. That stimulates your brains, and forget about sleeping. You don't want that. You want to lower the temperature in your room. You don't want it too cold. You don't want it too hot. No lights whatsoever. You want a complete darkness, because that's when you release serotonin, and that helps you, sleep. A deep sleep is very crucial. And as you know, we go through phases in sleep. And that first crucial one between 10 and 1, then you have 1 to 3, and 3 to 5, or 3 to 6, somewhere around that. So it's very, very, very crucial. And I'm glad to hear that you are sleeping good at night, because, and it doesn't matter to those who say, oh, as we grow older, we don't need to sleep 8 hours. That's wrong. We still need 8 hours, whether you are a baby just been born or you are 80 years old. 8 hours sleep still persists throughout your life. Because remember, here's a question for you. How many years do you think we sleep during our lifetime? That's trivia question for you guys. How many years, in your opinion, do we sleep during our lifetime? Let me see if any of you will get that answer correct. Let me see. I don't know if I ever mentioned that to you or not. Multi-Tom, you say 40. That's too much. Good try. A good try, Multi-Tom. Good try. I have to disagree with this gentleman here. You know, China has no history. I respectfully disagree. I do respectfully disagree. Depends again what you're referring to that for. So, oh, Cambridge, you got it. About 20 years. Jesus, 25. You close. American citizen, 24. Yeah, it's about 24. I'm sorry, about 20 years. That's how long we sleep. So during our lifetime. So, and that's why that 8-hour sleep is very, very, very crucial. So my advice to you guys, whatever you do, sleeping, do not mess around with it. And start to train your brain of really going to bed at a decent time. I partied back then when I was 18, 19. I did my share and stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, I did all that back then. By the time I crossed over 26, 27, I start to change my habits. So, and for the last 15 years or even 20, excuse me, I've been going to bed at about 10 o'clock, between 9 and 10. So when I lived in DC, way back in DC, between 2002 to 2014, I will go to bed at 8:30 p.m., 20:30, max of 2100 hours. So, and one of the things that I contribute to my good health is a good sleeping night. Literally, it's what helped me. So, in addition to the food, in addition to the rest, in addition to, the type of diet you eat and all that plays a role. This reminds me of one thing I want to talk to you about, what I'm thinking about it, since we talk about sleep and health and all that stuff. Your teeth also. And again, I am not preaching to you guys. I'm just sharing knowledge with you. That's all, because I care for you as a community. So to me, you are more than just a community members. You are almost a family to me now, because we get to know. I know sometimes there are some rude people, and those are not part of the community, because a decent person in our community is not going to talk like that. So my advice to you, when we do live streams with analysis and all that stuff, it is also upon you to help me out spotting the individuals who do not belong to this community. I can't do it alone. You know, I can't. And I have to focus on when I'm sharing information with you. So teeth. Why is the teeth important? It is very, very important, because if you don't have a healthy teeth, believe it or not, it will impact your overall health. A lot of people think, oh, it's just teeth, I won't bother with it. If I get a cavity, whatever, I just fix this and move on. No, it goes beyond that. And that's why the maintenance, and I am not talking about you have to go see your dentist every 6 months. That's a lie. Yeah. All what the dentistry are saying about the need you clean your teeth 6 months, it's a lie. You do not need to clean your teeth every 6 months. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember the last time I cleaned my teeth was 2.5 years ago, and I am fine. There is a lady out there. Her name is Dr. Barbara O'Neill. Dr. Barbara O'Neill. She's an Australian, if I'm not mistaken. And I know that big pharmaceutical went after her because she was disclosing information that discredit what the dentistry world are saying. And I'll give you a quick example. I even brought it with me right here. And I am not doing advertisement for this. I'm not. This is xylitol. That's how that's the toothpaste that I use to brush my teeth with, xylitol. So yes, it's pricey, so you pay $9 for it, whatever. But again, do I pay $9 on toothpaste, or do I go and pay $120 to clean my teeth? So the thing is, here's the thing: xylitol has an ingredient of it that's the one that cleans your teeth naturally. So, and I know if you notice sometimes, guys, once in a while you see me chewing on gum. I don't know if you notice that. That's not a regular gum. That's a xylitol gum that I use because to clean the teeth. I don't chew gum just to chew gum. And I chew gum because xylitol has that ingredients that is good for the root of your teeth and also clears the plaques. That's what I said. The last time I saw the dentist was overseas 2.5 to 3 years ago. I don't need to go see a dentist. So my point, guys, make sure you take good care of your teeth. So sugary drinks, stay out of that. Stay out of that for your own health. Literally, all you see now, what's in this McDonald's stuff. I understand it's cheap food and all that. Your health is worth more. Trust me, your health is worth more. It's because you can have money over the world, and if you are not healthy, it's useless. It's useless. You'd rather be in a good health. Like I always say, your health is your best asset, and one of the first things to do is to take care of your mouth. Be aware of what you are consuming. Make sure to clean your teeth regularly. When I say clean, I'm referring to flossing after you eat. I'm referring to brushing your teeth nicely and all that stuff. I don't know. It's just what prompted me to say to you while I'm thinking about it. So, all right, Mohammed Karimzeh, your son has to take your advice 100% seriously because of your knowledge and experience. Well, he does. He does listen. It just, I promised him and I promised myself. I had a difficult relationship with my dad. So it's kind of, we didn't see eye to eye. And I always promised myself if I ever have children, I kind of, the way I approach it is differently. And that's one of the my other three boys. They are older, they grown up, they are, so those are my stepsons, and they are older and they are now married and all that stuff. So Michael is the youngest, and I always promised to never dictate the terms. I'll set the rules, at least you know where I stand. Then the rest is it, because it has to be his life, it has to be his choice. I do know now he's interested in learning about investments in finance, because he starts to put the two and two together. Of course, he hears me talking about this, and when he is around, when I'm doing live, he is listening. Uh, he starts to realize the concern with the dollar. So last time I gave him some money, and I said, "Hey, I want to just give you some money," and I just wanted to see what will be the mindset for him if he gets just money. And I don't tend to just hand out things. And I said, "What would you do?" Well, I said, "The first time I'm gonna go ahead and buy me more coins." So he invests in coins, so stable coins and Coinbase and all that stuff. So which to me was a good sign. So at least he started to think in terms of, because I told him you have to think in terms of, you have to build wealth on your own. Yeah, I can pass some stuff to you, but you will have no appreciation for it whatsoever because it's been handed to you. My parents didn't hand me anything. They gone. No, I didn't count on that anyway. Build my own. So he does listen to the advice, but again, he's only 18, and I kind of have to let him make the mistakes because he has to learn from that. I can't be hovering over him, protecting him 24 hours. That's why I say, I trust you enough till you give me a reason not to. When you say you're going out with some friends, I in my business to know. Of course, I will be in a position to find out who those friends are. And I already did, and I gave him the heads up. So and so and so and so, you better start to think twice. That's all I can say to you about that. But to me was that idea of building that trust. When I tell him, hey, you know where I stand on drugs and all that stuff. You cross that line, we're done. And that's it. He'll go with his friends, and that's it. Because I told him, if you end up in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people and you get arrested, do not call me. Simple as that. So and he's very listening. He listens. So listens. Uh okay, let me see. Well, it takes God to share this, man. I admire you for your courage of sharing this one. So you put, I ate junk food once every 5 to 6 months. So depending on what type of junk food are we referring to here. So just be careful because most of the food outside is a processed food. The McDonald's, the Burger King, the KFC, the what's the other one? Chick-fil-A and all that stuff. Did you guys know what they just found out? Here, I'm going to share this with you quickly. If I'm going to go back. I found it overseas, and this has to do with the aid that are providing in Gaza. You know what they found? They found that the flour that they are providing people in Gaza had some drugs in it. Yeah, flour that is mixed with drugs. Drugs in relief flour. Twitter's expose USA to Gaza. So, so I'm gonna share the screen with you just to show you that you can trust what the government is saying. Or check this out. Yeah, look this out, guys. Look what it says right there. And those are the drugs inside the flour. And here is what it says: the discovery of highly dangerous narcotic oxycodone pills inside bags of flour delivered to citizens from aid centers supervised by the United States and Israel has sparked a wave of anger on social media. So it tells you right there. So you can't trust. So when you go and eat the junk food outside, even once or 5 6 months, you still are pouring poison into your body. And you ask yourself the question: is your health worth less for you to go for a cheap meal at some junk stuff? Yeah, it tastes good. Of course it tastes good. That's the whole point, is to keep you addicted to it. That's why you see a long lines. And I read up an analysis about Chick-fil-A. Why the long lines? For American viewers who are watching this, you know what I'm referring to. Go around 11 a.m. and you see the long line of Chick-fil-A. Why? It's because they put some chemicals in the chicken that makes those people who are eating that addicted to it. They want more, so they'll go the next day till they get their fix. Then they go the next day. That's all. But if you break that habit, it's gonna take a while. So, but I'm glad you asked the question. So I admire you for that one. So, let me see. YYT, you are a good father, Doctor. Well, I'm just me. It's just me. Michael knows, if I get upset, he will see my other side. So I do have another side, but I'm just being real, because that's one thing I promised. I will only, I am what you see. This is why I couldn't, even with YouTube itself, I can't be just saying things so I can have a lot of people subscribe, and when I know I'll be betraying myself. I just couldn't do it. So on YouTube, they didn't like the fact that I talk straightforward. So, what do you think of crazy conspiracy theorist Alex Jones? Alex Jones? No, he's not a. He's been on spot on certain things. If you only know what our government were trying to do to him behind the scenes, and they couldn't. There's a saying in Washington: when Washington does not like the message, it tends to shoot the messenger. That's just the norm. So that saying still holds till today. So. Uh, yeah, it's not about being anti-war. They are just raising the key question that many Americans ought to ask: is what is our interest in fighting on behalf of Israel? I have nothing against the Iranians. Why will I hate the Iranians for what they have done to me? Nothing. So why will I go by what the government is saying? And we all know the government is lying. We all know that. So. Francis Tango, Dr. O, McDonald's and KFC is not cheap with 2 adults and 2 children cost, excuse me, 38 euros. Wow. Wow, that's about $42. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. So two adults and two children, 38. Wow. Yeah. See, to me, $42. But again, if you have kids like that, why don't you just go buy a pound of ground beef, okay, a grass fed for about $11 or €11 or 12. I did see them when I was in Holland. I went to supermarket. You buy it for 10 or 12, okay? You buy some onions, you buy some eggs. A pack of eggs will be what, about 12 or 8 euros. So here is 12 and 8, that's 20 euros. And you buy some other veggies and some type of healthy bread, and you cook stuff at home and you make a good meal out of it. Won't cost you more than 30 euros. So yeah, it's the convenience, but the convenience that end up causing harm to your health. That is where the problem is. Yeah, and that's why I can, for at least for our community, I if of course is your life, you do what you want and I shall respect whatever. It's your life. All I'm saying is I'm sharing a knowledge with you that I acquired over the years based on knowledge, based on facts. And I, as I always say, I have access to a highly trained, qualified, certified nutritionists and so forth. So, and that is why I am basing on, and because I care for our community, I wanted to share the advice. That's all. Even Michael, he used to drink sodas. In Europe, I offered him a soda just to try. See, he said, "No, I don't want it." I said, "Michael, soda in Europe is slightly different than that of the US." He said, "No, I don't want it," and he did. So I did have one, and I drank Orangina. If you guys remember Orangina, you remember when I was a kid, it used to be in a glass bottle. So, and I bought one in glass bottle, and it tastes the same as it was back then. And that's the only one I had. So, but even for him, he's starting now to realize, and I said, what you put in your body now will help you when you turn 40, 50, 60, and so forth. So it's up to you. I can't be watching your intake on a daily basis. You decide what you want to eat. So he started to cut down now on that. You know how 17, 18-year-old have to eat the junk stuff with others and so forth. So, and that is why American Cities Next, you're right. Chasing convenience will destroy us all. I mean, you think about just everything through drive-through. When was the time when people used to get up in the morning, get a bag, and go to a flea market and buy fresh fruit from farms? I saw that in China in the morning when I used to get up very early during my time in Shanghai. I'll get up and get out of the hotel at 6:30 and go take a walk. That's when I used to do live stream for you guys early on. And what did I see early on? People lining up with their grocery bag because they want to buy fresh veggies coming out of the farm in trucks, still with the dirt in them, because I saw one. I bought apples one morning, I remember, and I could see that the carrots still have dirt in them. The potatoes still have the dirt in them. People don't mind because they're gonna wash that stuff. So, and so for us here, no, it's the convenient. Everything through drive-through. Heck, even flowers. You buy flowers for your wife, you have to go through drive-through, which is ridiculous. So, but again, everybody lives life according to how he sees fit for him. But oh, she won't like that, Francis. Yeah, well, you have to. Who knows? She might one day. She might get it. She might get it one day. So give her time. People sometimes have to learn the hard way, and we all do. I learned some things the hard way. So it's just how life is. Just part of it. So all right, let me see another. Uh, Kevin, I don't know what this means. So sorry, Kevin, if you can elaborate a little bit more, I will be happy to comment on that. American citizen, R2T's role, junk. I don't even know what that is. Don't laugh at me, American citizens. Don't laugh at me because I don't know. I don't know what a 2D role is. Let me see if I can type it to get an idea. That tells you I really have no idea because Oh, I see now. I see what it is. Oh, the candy thing that has chocolate on it, or whatever. Yeah, I would not know. I don't. No, no. I don't know. When I wanted something like this, and I usually don't, but when I was in France, I brought with me some really high quality chocolate. So, because my wife wants chocolate. But I'm not gonna buy Hershey chocolates. I don't buy Hershey chocolate. So I went ahead and buy the cacao real chocolate. Expensive, but hey, you eat one small piece and that's enough. So now I know what the Tootsie Roll is. So funny. And here I am. I live here and I have no idea what that is. So yeah, there are certain things I do not know. Uh, Let me see another question from you guys. If you have one. Abdul Fall, your kitchen is your hospital. That is correct. You're absolutely correct. Uh, uh, you Yeah, it's because this is one thing about, and again, I'm gonna give just the example of Michael because he started to do this, and I explained to him, you're gonna go buy Chick-fil-A that is prepared and all that stuff, but you have no idea where that stuff was fried, how old is that oil, you don't even know what they added to that stuff, and you are blindly eating that stuff and destroying your health. Or you're gonna go to a grocery store, you buy grass-fed steak or ground beef, whatever. You spend 15 minutes in the kitchen and you cook it yourself, and you know what you're eating. So, and of course, first time I said this didn't ring a bell. Then later on, he'll start making his own. So so of course I have to step in and help him out with the type of spices you mix and all that stuff. And now he makes his own stuff. So, and that's the point. So the idea of a kitchen being yeah, it's how you use your kitchen, because once you cook your own food, you know what you put in your body. But it requires you devoting 15-20 minutes of your time to cook that food. And if you prepare food with such a desire, with really, because that's what you want, then you'll notice a difference health wise. I never enjoyed cooking when I was 17. I spent all my time at the beach. I was never at home. My mom, bless, she passed away. Uh, she used to say, "Why don't you come over here? I'll show you how to." I said, "Come on, mom. I'm not interested." She said, "Okay." And she was right. Parents are always right. But it took me till I get to a certain age and had to force myself to learn how to cook. So, when was the last time I was at a restaurant? Well, because we were in Europe. I had to take Michael to certain places in France that I was familiar with, and their food is not bad. Now, there is one convenient that I say about Europe. Their food is different than the one in the US because they don't import meat from the United States. That's one. Second, there is no processed food in Europe. That's by European standards. So, and I always eat something light, like light salads or eggs or some basic stuff. Now, if you want a good piece of steak, you're gonna go to a steak house, and you spend money on it and all that stuff. But most of the time, no. Here in the US, I don't eat outside at all. Uh, So that just that's just what I do. Wow, Jade Wag, your videos back in 2020 opened up my eyes that US is going to crap. So did everything I can since then to save up and build up wealth overseas. You and few other YouTuber expats and political analysts. So it's to me that's the responsibility for me, at least, why I decided to do all this. The channel, it's because you say to yourself, literally, and I am getting to that stage in my life now where I'm asking myself, what am I doing for humanity? Literally, what am I doing? You know, Still, of course, teaching it's ingrained in my heart. Teaching is one of the things that maybe I was born for that mission. Maybe that's the. But again, if you ask me what my desire was to, of course, one of the ones that's to be an ambassador. But again, when I see how becoming an ambassador in the US works, you have to bribe your way to that. I can't do that. I can. If I am the one that push against bribery and all that, why will I do it when I'm saying that? Will I'll be hypocrite. So, so then I kind of left that out. Kind of till I know somebody approached me about 15, 18 years ago to do YouTube, and I was like, nah, that ain't for me. I'm a private guy, and I am a private guy. I like my privacy, and then it hits me. You become asking yourself, what are you doing for humanity? Literally, is it all about you? So yes, I worked in DC. You were making the big bucks and all that stuff. So what? How is that helped some other human being somewhere in the world? And I'm not talking about financial aspects. So, and it became clear to me. So, when we start, Ross and I were just jokingly sitting on a kitchen table, just chatting, and here we are. And now you start to realize, yeah, this is more than I could imagine. So, and even if I am to go and teach whatever, this is gonna have to stay. If that university likes it, that's fine. If they don't, then this will stay. It's because that's my commitment, not only to you guys. It's that's what I feel comfortable with, and something I want to do. And when you decide on doing something, you'll never allow any voice to tell you no, you can't. You only allow that if you start in doubting yourself, and that's ain't me. You're gonna run to so many naysayers. Don't listen to that. Trust your instinct and move on with it. Uh, Charles Manson, would you speak about Morocco's geopolitics? Well, Morocco has a lot of issues. Yes, I could. It just depends again from which angle. And again, I have to talk about the issues that I can see a change that would happen. Talking about Moroccan geopolitics, because there are a lot of issues inside the Moroccan structure. Of the king cannot do everything by himself, even though his intentions are so good. Also, of course, the king has to think about the survival of the monarchy. So, but you have the corrupted individuals surrounding him. That is where the issue in Morocco is, and that in itself hindering from advancing the country forward. So there are internal voices that they are countering what His Majesty wants to do. But again, how much can he fight by himself? He can't. you know this is why when you are a king, you have to ensure that if you are to bring in someone as an advisor, don't expect them to just tell you what you want to hear. And I think, in my opinion, at least from what I observing from outside in, I'm not inside there, and I have no desire or interest whatsoever, telling the king what he wants to hear. I'll give you a quick example. You got a corrupted prime minister. So it becomes question logical to me is why the king is allowing a prime minister who is a billionaire to be in his possession. You are the king, you have a say, and I'm not saying to treat the guy unjustly. All I'm saying is you have the authority, you're the king. Issue an investigation and let the facts lead you where they may. And if the guy found guilty, then you appropriate the punishment accordingly. Simple as that. But allowing the guy in the position, that sends the message that even the king himself might not even care. And again, this is why I don't talk much about Moroccan geopolitics. Second thing, you got a complicated issue of the Sahara Desert, especially with Algeria. A very complicated issue. And it's not an easy one to fix, because when you think about why Morocco established the relations with Israel to begin with, you have to look at that. So who knows? Maybe one day I might do it. So we'll see. All right. Uh, uh, Yes, yes. American citizen has ice raided your neck of the woods. Not close by here, but usually they go to the the borders in El Paso and certain part. It's just they have to do it for show. Remember, there are tensions between the federal government and the state government. So they butt in head. And I all remember when the idiot Biden was in charge, and the governor of Texas sent the National Guard to fight the federal agency or agent, that is. So the whole country is a mess. This is my point. Is what you are noticing around the world is because in indication of the end is near for the empire. It's reality. We can ignore it. We can't ignore it. Uh, too much poison in our food. That is correct. I couldn't agree more. You know, do you guys know why I ate food in China streets? And I wanted to do that because I know where they're gonna be cooked, and I could see and where they cook. They cook on cast irons, metal stuff. It kills all the bacteria. And I ate outside, no issue whatsoever. So, so yeah. Abel, you are right. The more you eat, the sooner you die. Obesity is the #1 health risk. You are absolutely correct. This is why, for us in our American culture, we stuff ourselves. Have you ever noticed anybody who will eat before they put food on their plate? They'll stuff their plate and they end up not eating it. And I share a story with you. One day when Michael was about 7, and he put so much food on his plate, I didn't say a word. I let him till he got his plate and all that stuff. Ate half of it, and I said, Michael, what you gonna do with the rest? And he said, I'm gonna toss it up in the garbage. And I just lost it. I really lost it. So, you ask him maybe when we do the interview, he'll tell you the story. And it's just because, yeah, we are not able to put small portions in our plates because the moment we feel full, we don't stop, keep going, unless you are disciplined enough to know that when you put food on your plate, you know how much you can eat, and that's all you put. So if you want more, you get more, but at least you clean your plate for that. And that's why we keep eating, and the parents are not teaching the kids out early on that it's not about putting so much food on your plate. You don't have to do that. There's always food there. You put what you can consume. Simple as that. And you don't have to make I look at it, for example, I know it's tradition. Don't I'm just sharing knowledge here with you. I know in the Arab Muslim world, in Ramadan, they put a table that is so packed with food. And you wonder why in Ramadan people gain weight in the Arab world. Well, they eat so much at night and go to bed. The body doesn't work that way. I fast. I do it for health reason, not a religion. I don't do religion, just for the record. I eat 1 meal a day. And you know what I break fast with? A bowl of soup, 2 eggs, and 1 piece of fruit. And we're done. Next day, I'll do 1 piece of salad and piece of steak. And we're done. Water, of course, and all that. That's it. You don't need to consume. So that's my point. For us in American culture, you look at it with Thanksgiving, how much food we. Why? I don't even do Thanksgiving because I don't like that. It's to me just. But again, obesity, that's the problem. That's why the kids in America are, you see a 12-year-old and weighs so much. Yeah, it just. So. You skip. Sorry, I didn't finish your sentence, Abel. You said, I do like Dr. O. I skip breakfast. Oftentimes, I only eat once a day in the evening time. Yeah, the body doesn't need much. Literally, the body doesn't need much. One thing I can give you guys an advice on is your dinner time. Dinner time, do not push it till 8, 9 No, 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 no. You need 5 hours at least before you go to bed to ensure the food you ate for dinner is digested. You don't want to go to bed with a full tummy. That is not a, you will not sleep well. So, and that is why the importance of eating at around 6:30, max of 7 is good. 6, at least for me, I speak for me here. 6 o'clock, it's my dinner time. And that's it. And what I'll do after, at 9 o'clock, before I go to bed, I'll get a half cup of either kefir. You all know kefir, the plain yogurt, kefir, no sugar, nothing. Or yogurt, plain yogurt, no sugar, nothing on it. And you do just small 4 or 5 spoons, and that's it. And you go to bed. Why? Because yogurt has what we call the acidophilus. Acidophilus is good for your good bacteria in your digestive system. And digestion in itself is part of your overall health. If your digestive system is not working accordingly and properly, you are not getting the nutrients you need from the food you consume. It depends again on what you consume. So, all right, we come into the hour here. I'll do one more question here. Then we go for then I'll sign off here. I'm gonna go just chill out this afternoon and think about next week what I'm gonna be covering for you. I see. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this question for me or for someone else. What is navel jelly? I don't know. I don't know what that is. This question, well, we don't do geopolitics today, so I'm gonna have to keep my word that we don't answer this one. So here's what we're gonna do. To be fair to you, keep your question for when I do live stream next on Monday or Tuesday. Okay? You promise that you show up and you ask that question? All right, that's because I gave my word. We are not doing geopolitics today. So I hope you understand. All right. Oh, American citizen. Thank you, Dr. O. Glad you and yours are doing well. Please say hi to Elizabeth and Dr. Stewart. Yes, I will see Elizabeth tomorrow, and I will see Dr. Stewart for coffee, I think, on Thursday. So usually he and I would go once a week for a cup of coffee to chat. So anyway, guys, thank you for being here. And again, this is our conversation, freestyle conversation. So as I said, I will be working on some stuff for you for next week. There's a lot to cover, and I look forward to seeing you. Excuse me, I'm reaching my point. Much appreciate your kind support. To those who got me super sticker, once again, I am very, very grateful to you for your support. I will be talking to you about my upcoming trip to China. Apparently the funding is not going where it's going. I might have to cut that funding by half, which means I will not end up going to one particular location that many of you wants me to go to report from it. So because I won't be able to do it. So we'll see how things evolve. If the funding is there, then I am definitely going. That's non-negotiable. But if it's not there, there's nothing I can do about that. But I will keep you posted on it, guys. All right. Wishing you a good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the world you are in. And I look forward to seeing you next time. As always, remember, geopolitics impacted daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.